What up, Laker Nation? It's your boy DTLF back with another pregame live stream as the Lakers get set to face the Sacramento Kings at 7:30 Pacific time. So we got about 30 minutes or so before we, get down to the nitty gritty. So, okay, can we get this third win in a row? All right, dating back to last year, we got 2 wins now. All right, and this would be the third one. We're moving up in the standings. If we continue to win, other teams in the West are losing right now. They're not necessarily hitting any streaks. So Lakers have a chance to move up. That is key. However, I am concerned about something, man. I am concerned about something. I have no idea what the Lakers are doing with this roster spot. What's up? What's up? You know, no Stanley, the Manly Johnson today. I'm not sure if we feel like we can spare him or what, because the Lakers haven't officially inked them and we have an open roster spot. So they're trying to figure out what to do with this final roster spot. And I'm wondering if it's a part of a bigger trade, right? We've been hearing rumors about Jeremy Grant and all this stuff that could potentially go down starting January 15th. But the starting lineup is different today. We got Russell Westbrook, Avery Bradley, LeBron James, Trevor Ariza, and Malik Monk. So Trevor Ariza slides in place of Stanley Johnson, who hasn't officially been re-signed or nothing. Basically, he's a free agent, which means he can go with any other team. God forbid he choose another team, because I like what he brought to this team, man. And I'd be really disappointed if we don't sign him. But I'm sure Rob has a plan. Maybe it's a bigger piece coming. I don't know what it is. He said, hey, Dan, stay safe, bro, with all the new variants. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you. How you guys feeling? How's everybody? How's Laker world out there today, man? Hopefully you guys ready for another dub today. He said, ink him, man. I know. I mean, I'd love for them to sign him, but I don't understand what's going on. He's a sub DTLF. Much love, respect, Dan. I heard that the Nets are trying to go after Stanley Johnson. Yeah, listen, if we let him go, then that means that the front office didn't like him enough to ink him long term, and they have bigger plans for that roster spot. I have no idea what that would be, because you know what? He fits in perfectly here with this team. And I think we're going to miss him tonight, even versus the Kings. I think we might miss him. Thanks, Lil Dex. It's a hoodie, bro, but thanks. Appreciate you, man. Lakers need a win. We need all the wins we can get. All right. If you guys didn't watch the schedule preview that I dropped yesterday video, basically I have us either going 8-6 this month, which would be solid considering the hard schedule, or we're going to go 7-7. That's worst case scenario, in my opinion. Anything less than that is extremely disappointing. So we got to survive this month, and it starts with winning games like tonight versus Sacramento. Now, again, Kendrick Nunn getting closer to return, but he's not officially back yet. He's practicing now and stuff, getting loose pre-games before the game starts and all that. So I'm glad to see him out there on the court, but there's still no return table for him as far as he goes. I see right here, my boy said Kendrick is back. Not officially yet, bro. So as long as we sign Monk long-term, I'm good. I do agree with that. That should be a priority for the Lakers this offseason. Malik Monk definitely is a keeper. I know that teams are going to try to poach him, but he recently mentioned, and I think this could be to our advantage, is that nobody else wanted to give him an opportunity. Surprisingly, this offseason, the Lakers were the only team that called. I don't know what the NBA is watching as far as talent goes, but yeah, they're not paying close attention because Malik Monk's always been talented. He just hasn't been given an opportunity. Now he's been given that opportunity, and he is shining. And speaking of opportunities, guys, I don't know if y'all been paying close attention. All right, I wasn't going to bring this up on the chat, but I feel like I can just talk about it real quick. Kyle Kuzma's been balling the last couple of days. He's getting opportunities in Washington, and I just feel like there should be a lesson learned for a lot of impatient Laker fans that trash players like THT. They used to trash Kuz. At times, they used to trash D'Angelo Russell. Brandon Ingram, his rookie season, I remember when they were saying he's too skinny, he's going to be a bust. Julius Randle is one thing to be, constructively critical of them, but it's a whole other thing to just say they're garbage, get rid of them, they're trash. This is what we're now going through with THT. We got half of the fan base saying he's garbage. The other half is actually patient. But I just wish more people would be patient with this young talent, because sometimes it's about the way we're using them. Sometimes about the coaching, sometimes about opportunities, and sometimes it's just everybody's on a different timeline. I usually don't like to be hard on players till after their 4th year in the league. So let's take it in stride. And I don't mean this because I'm holding on to Kuz or anything like that. I'm happy for him. I'm glad he's over there shining. He wasn't shining here. under this team, so he fits their schemes better. But my only point is THT, man. I see a lot of people in the chat when he struggles through games saying he's garbage, throw him away for a bag of chips, this, and that. I think we should learn from our mistakes in the past, man. A lot of times I was defending young talent on this very channel because guys were struggling here. And not everybody's going to be for the limelight that is Los Angeles. A lot of scrutiny, a lot of pressure. Even star players like Russell Westbrook are struggling here under the limelight. Most recently saying it's okay to turn the ball over and all this stuff, right? So, to all the impatient fans out there, we got to be patient with the young talent, because if not, guess what? They're going to get traded due to all the pressure. They're not going to shine here, and they're going to go and flourish elsewhere, and then people are going to be lamenting the trades. So that's all I got to say, man, about that. Now, moving on to a different subject. Again, new starting lineup. No Stanley Johnson, unfortunately. I don't know what they're going to do with that. Hopefully nobody poaches him away. But in my opinion, he more than proved himself, right? In the what is it, 4 or 5 games he played, we won like 3 out of those. And he made an impact in a couple of those. So, defensively, even in the plus minus. So, even though we have a new starting lineup right now, hopefully that's only temporary till we bring in Stanley back, because I really like what he brought off the bench. Now, again, starting lineup tonight, what do you guys think? We're going small again. Hopefully it doesn't come back to bite us, because the Kings have some pretty versatile bigs, that can score in the paint or space, like Marvin Bagley and Tristan Thompson, guys that can rebound, get second chance points. I just hope that Dwight plays. A lot of you in the chat are saying Dwight better play tonight. I agree. And that was my biggest criticism of the coaching staff last game, is that we were getting destroyed on the boards, and we damn nearly lost the game. At one point, we lost the lead in the 4th. So, they have to be very intelligent with the rotations tonight. Don't underestimate the Kings, okay? A lot of teams this season have been underestimating them this season, and they have come up short. Trust me, they got 16 wins. Now that's 3 less than us, but that's not too far down the list. You know what I mean? So if they got 16 wins, they can sneak up on anybody on any given night. So we have to make sure we take care of business, man. We definitely don't want to go into triple overtime again versus this team. So this time, if we get a lead, we got to make sure we step on the gas and never look back, because the way LeBron's been playing, if we don't get these wins, they're looking for any reasons not to put them in the MVP conversation. So all of these wins are crucial. All these records are nice and everything, but it means nothing to the world if we don't get these wins. So hopefully Russell Westbrook can limit turnovers tonight. We're going to need him to be the good version of himself, because, man, if he gets another 10 turnover game versus a team that has speedy, shifty guards like De'Aaron Fox out in transition and Tyrese Halliburton, players like that, can really come back to bite you, man. Can really come back to bite you. So let's take care of the basketball, Russell Westbrook especially, and hopefully we'll come out with a victory. What do you guys think of tonight's starting lineup? I want to head over to the chat. I gave you guys my opinions, my train of thought so far. Are you guys okay with Stanley Johnson not coming back? Do you guys think it would be unacceptable if they don't bring him back, or do you guys think Rob Pelinka has bigger plans in store for that final roster spot? What do you guys think? What does Laker Nation think about Stanley the Manly Johnson not being on the roster tonight? That's what I want to know. The starting lineup is Russell Westbrook, Avery Bradley, Malik Monk, Trevor Ariza, and LeBron. So we're still going small tonight. Then I had a dream that we flipped Russ for Steph. If only that became a reality. No, Jackie, don't hold your breath for that one. That must have been a pleasant dream. But, yeah, no. That'll never happen. I don't foresee the Warriors ever getting rid of Steph. I'd be shocked. Especially not for Russell Westbrook. Unacceptable, unexpectationable. An open roster spot could be super valuable. I do agree with that, so I'm trying to keep an open mind. But I'll say I really thought that was Stanley Johnson's for grab. Maybe they're still working out the kinks. Maybe they're trying to find some sort of loophole with the cap space. No idea. But I agree with Carl Brown. I think we should sign Stanley Johnson. I think he fit this team perfectly. And I'd be kind of frustrated a little bit if we don't sign him, especially if we don't make a big splash before the trade deadline. By the way, I just found out the trade deadline this year is actually February 10th. So people were asking me when it was, and it's February 10th. He said, will we rather keep Stanley now or possibly try and get Grant or a guy like Eric Gordon? For now, listen. I don't think Stanley Johnson would impact the ability to go out and make that trade that everybody's talking about for Grant. So I would get the insurance policy. You never know. Trades could all fall through. Nothing's guaranteed. So if we don't bring back Stanley and we don't get Grant, a lot of fans are going to be upset with that. Adrian Bronner's dad says they're trying to save money. Well, that's not what Laker Nation wants. We want guys that are going to help this team win, and Stanley Johnson was doing just that. So, yeah, that would be extremely disappointing if that's the route that Genie takes as of right now. Like I said, we're either going to be buyers or sellers at the trade deadline. Buyers, meaning, for the casuals, I'm explaining to you what it means. Buyer means that you're looking to acquire whatever it takes, trade as many draft picks, any assets in order to, retool your team before the playoffs come so we can have the best chance of winning. Sellers means that you're just going to mail it in and say, well, we were injured this season. Whatever happens, happens. We can save money by trading away Rondo, and we really don't need to make a lot of improvements because we've been injured all year. That would be sellers. That would be worst case scenario for diehard Laker fans like myself. Best case scenario, we need to be buyers, go out and swing for the fences, try to get Miles Turner, Jeremy Grant, whoever we can get our hands on to improve this roster. That is a buyer. So let's just hope that that is actually the route we're taking. Voice of Reason, thanks for the donation, brother. He said, is it theoretically possible to just waive Westbrook? I don't think so. I'm not sure how the cap works, but I think there would have to be a buyout required, and we'd probably have to stretch his salary for multiple years, and we don't want to do that. We're already handicapped by paying the thief that was Luol Deng multiple years, and he kept, holding up our cap by $5 million every season. So that's about to barely come off the books, and I'm happy because that's an extra $5 million. That literally is a Kendrick Nunn type player. So yeah, and there's no way the front office is going to pay a man $40 million just to leave, right? In that case, we're better off just holding on to him and then letting him opt in next year, and then just suffering the consequences for one more year, and then you'll have that big chunk of cap space available, and LeBron's contract comes off the books as well. So you would have a lot of cap space once Russell Westbrook becomes a free agent. You won't win a championship with Russ guaranteed. It's never been done before. I'm not the type of person to never say never. I think in order for that to happen, though, his mentality and his ego had to go out the window, and he has it thus far. He's been basically telling reporters to F off. Like, listen, he's been like, I'm the type of player that don't matter if I turn the ball over or break a shitload of shots. I'm still going to do whatever I want, basically. So he's a me first guy, instead of saying the more appropriate answer, something along the lines of, whatever my team needs me to do, that's what I'm going to do. I'm trying to improve and get better. You can never stop improving, even at 33, right? That should be the better answer that would ease Laker Nation's mind a little bit. But unfortunately, he's taking the low road, and this man's out here just shitting on all the fans and on the coaching staff and everybody. So that's what's disappointing, man. Even OKC Thunder fans see it. Check it out. My boy right here. He says, Russ needs to stop doing too much. Oh, I know that. I think all of Laker Nation knows that. Only people that don't know that are the stubborn, brick-headed Russell Westbrook fans, because they're just as stubborn as he is. So it makes perfect sense. Like, they're just as stubborn and hard-headed. They think if he has a quadruple double with 10 turnovers, but don't worry, at least he had a triple-double. Like, listen, the quadruple-double ruins everything. I don't care if you had a double-double, but as long as you keep it under 4 turnovers, I'll be happier than you having a triple-double. That's just how I feel about it. I'm still rooting for him. I want him to do good as a Laker. Yes, I've been hard on him. I call him names, all this stuff, but he has deserved it. He basically has been doing it to himself with this selfishness, and Laker Nation is tough. We're going to hold players accountable, all right? Even if your name's Russell Westbrook you see what they do to young players. They torment young players, and I think, unfairly, because I think young players should have a little bit more of a leash. They're young, they're learning, they're still molding their game, in my opinion, right? But a lot of fans don't even have patience for young players, let alone a 33-year-old brickmaster, who has his PhD in turnovers. So that's not something Laker fans are going to go for. And Russell Westbrook fans and Laker fans are going to crash all season long as he doesn't get his shit together. And that's just the truth, Westbrook needs to be traded. It's probably not going to happen. There's a 1 in 10 chance that happens. I hope it does, but I'm telling you right now, whoever acquires Russell Westbrook might as well put the rope around their neck right now and hang themselves, because this is not going to go well with your roster. I myself was foolish enough to think he would change for Laker Nation. I thought he loved LA enough to put his ego to the side. I thought him and LeBron James would, their friendship would come first, and he would understand that he needs to, fall in line. But no, none of that. Frank Vogel just defended Russell Westbrook. Of course he is. Of course he is, because they both got to go. To be honest with you, that's a package deal. Like, if somebody wants Russell Westbrook, the sweetener in the deal would be we throw in Frank Vogel, championship coach. Y'all can have him. I would love. It would be lovely if they could take a 2-for-1 deal. They actually think they're getting a package deal, but they're getting screwed over, man. He said, Dan, can our players at least play hard every night? Where's the mama mentality from our guys? LeBron James plays hard every night. There's certain role players that play hard every night. Malik Monk's been doing his thing. Arguably, he's been our second best player on most nights. Russell Westbrook plays hard, but he's still not the smartest, not the brightest in the room. So that's the problem. He needs to be smart and just chill out. He said, Dan, I heard they have to wait until tomorrow to sign him to another contract because it was a hardship contract, something like that. But again, I'm no salary cap expert, nor do I pretend to be. I trust Rob Pelinka, and so I'm going to keep it objective. Let's see what they do, with the roster moving forward. Hello from Argentina. Hey, shout out to Argentina, man. Messi the GOAT. Yes, sir. He said, hypothetically, if Westbrook could keep his turnovers, I got to read this one. If Westbrook could keep his turnovers under 5 per game, AD could somewhat come back in form. How do you like our chances? We know what LeBron's going to do. Love you, Dan. Go Lakers. You know what? That's a great question, Robert. Roberto, my bad. Roberto. I don't want to butcher your name like that ever again. Listen, my standard for a starting point guard that plays for the Lakers is under 4 turnovers. Now, that's a pretty good leash. I mean, you get to be a bonehead 4 times in a game, 1 per quarter. I think that's fair, right? Especially because you're not the primary ball handler. LeBron handles the ball a lot as well, so they split it. But I think 4 per game is good. If you save them, you can do them all in the third quarter. If you save them the first 2 quarters. So, but the key is to take care of the ball, especially in the fourth, which he has not been good at. That's why I've been so hard at him. It's one thing if he's making his mistakes early in the game, but it's another when they're momentum shifting, buzzkill type turnovers. So 4 is fair, in my opinion. I mean, LeBron averages 4, and he handles the ball a lot. Russell Westbrook, he's a point guard, should average 4 or less. And he's up there by 7 or 8. We got a real problem. A real problem. And it's no wonder he got traded every year. Nobody wants a turnover machine on their roster because it's a momentum killer more than anything. And so people don't understand is that it's really hard to get a flow of the offense when Russell Westbrook has tunnel vision. And this man, I mean, some of his turnovers are inexplicable. It's like he has gargoyle stone hands. He goes up for a layup, or I don't know if it's a dunk or whatever, but I don't know if he has little hands. He can't palm the ball. It just flies off. It's like a rocket launcher, man. It just flies off of the top of his fingertips over the backboard and shit. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I thought he was going to get a dunk. My man barely touched the backboard. So it's a struggle with some of these turnovers. I just slap myself when I see that. Like, I feel stupider by watching low IQ basketball like that. I just don't get it. But, yeah, Russell Westbrook, he just needs to limit those turnovers. Is that hard? We're not asking for too much. And I hated his response about how that's a part of his game and we should just accept it. No. He said, if this was Kobe rather than LeBron, it would be a different story because Kobe will let you know how he feels about your poor play. Now, I'll give you this. Kobe Bryant was a badass, all right? He's a badass dude. Like, he didn't give a shit about making enemies within his own teammates. And that's what I think his own teammates ended up respecting about him the most. Like, Kobe would be, he called Jeremy Lin and that team Charmaine Soft, and I can agree with him there. Like, that team sucked big time. And so that's just the thing. LeBron James is a different type of player, man. As great as he is, he's not worried about, changing other players' games. He's just focused on himself and making teammates better, which is one form of leadership. But another form of leadership is to smack somebody in the back of the head when they got 10 turnovers. And that was the Kobe we love. Kobe would have definitely had Russell Westbrook He would have broke Russell Westbrook. Let's just put it like that, without saying anything disrespectful. But again, different types of leadership. There's a reason not everybody was cut out to play with Kobe. That's why it was hard to recruit free agents at times. Versus LeBron James, everybody wants to play with him because they know if they can catch and shoot and move without the basketball, they're going to get it, right? So different types of leaderships, respect them both, man. That's all I got to say about that. Lil Deck says, our front office don't trade stars mid-season. They play it out. But if we trade Russ, our calling card is that he sells tickets. Maybe he can pitch that. I don't know, man. Honestly, I can't visualize somewhere other than maybe like a special situation where, like I said, Philly doesn't get nothing for Ben by the trade deadline. They might, accept Russell Westbrook in a first-round pick or something for Ben Simmons, maybe. Or Kyrie Irving and KD can't seem to get along or something, or they get tired of him. Then maybe LeBron and Kyrie can rekindle the flame and Russ can be gone, right? They can be the new OKC Thunder on Brooklyn, right? I don't know. But other than that, other than a special scenario, I really can't see the Lakers trading Westbrook. I think he's going to be, I think he's going to stay with the roster, and I think he's going to opt in this summer like the boneheaded, brick-headed player he is, and he's just thinking about himself always. So, I mean, who wouldn't opt in though? Would you leave $40 million, especially when you see your talents declining? You go for a layup and the shit just rocket launches into space. Like, listen, if I was Russell Westbrook, I'd be a little selfish too, and I'd opt in. But then again, it's a different story if I was Russell Westbrook. He said, Ben is the only player I think we could be traded for Russ. Like I said, special situations only. There's not a lot of people out there willing to give up $44 million worth of talent for this guy who's not even, he's not even as explosive as he once was. How many times has he wedged the ball between his hand and the rim? A lot. And people will sit here, Russell Westbrook fans already hate me. They can sit here and call me a hater, but I'm just being realistic, man. I'm telling you the truth. I guess in this generation, the truth is hate. Call it what it is, but it's the facts, man. Are we going to sign Stanley Johnson? I really hope so. Somebody said something about being hard capped, so we got to wait till tomorrow. He's probably right. I haven't really researched about the cap and the whole situation this season, so. But, yeah, he's probably right. I really don't see a reason why they unloaded Rondo for no reason, right? Other than clearing cap. That's just not Laker-like. So unless we're pivoting away from winning for now and basically going to let these stars ride off into the sunset, just, breaking records and stuff, triple doubles and all that. But again, this is not the landing spot for that, Hi, Dan, do you believe is a realistic timeline when Kendrick Nunn returns sometime next week or following week? Just to be safe, since they said no timeline, I'd say about 3 more weeks, most likely by next month, just to be on the safe side. But it'd be nice if it was a week or two. Because, I want to see what we got. Maybe he's really good and we end up holding on to him, or maybe he won't be the same after the injury and they trade him away before his trade value diminishes. I have no idea what the front office is thinking. But we already have a ton of guard, a lot of guard talent at the position. So I think Stanley will be part of the team, but I'm pretty sure by trade deadline, Westbrook, TC, DJ, Baseball, maybe Ellington, all will get traded for young legs, only Carmelo and Howard. I doubt it, Hector. Everybody you mentioned doesn't have a lot of trade value. THT's the one that probably has the most trade value because, front offices aren't fans, and they're not going to base their talent evaluation based off of the first quarter of the season. THT was balling before Westbrook came along and before a bunch of other stuff happened on the roster. So, yeah, he's hit somewhat of a rough patch here, but I'm sure that front office is probably thinking, look at Kuzma, look at Montrez, look at KCP, look at Jordan Clarkson, look at Julius, look at Brandon Ingram. They're probably thinking THT could be the next one in line. Remember, last trade deadline, he was a hot commodity. So thank God front offices don't think like fans, because then he really wouldn't have any trade value. What is my assessment of Ariza so far? I like what he brings. I mean, he clearly still has a jump shot. He seems to be a half step short defensively, though. I want him. Sometimes he's over gambling and he gets beat by the first step. But I do like his size, his length, and he can prove to be a really good commodity for the Lakers moving forward. But as of right now, I still feel like he's trying to get his legs back under him. So that's my assessment. I like his shot taking and making abilities. I like his size and defensive prowess. And I think he'll only get better with the roster the more he plays, for sure. Dan, if we win tonight, we will be above the Clippers in the standings. Yes, Evan, but trust me, this month is going to be really tough. Really tough, man. Really, really tough. So one game at a time, my brother. One game at a time. He said, Dan, you have more one-liners than Chick Hearn? Oh, no, man. Chick Hearn is a GOAT, man. But I appreciate the love. Anytime I could be mentioned in the same breath as that guy, man, I'll take it. But no, Chick Hearn is the GOAT, man. I remember growing up as a kid watching him on KCAL9. Golden voice, man. That guy was an angel. But hey, thank you so much, Andrew. I appreciate the compliment always, man. And thanks for the donation as well. He said, pretty much don't underestimate the second-round picks we have. Our scouting department is still on another level. That is true. That is true. And even though it'll hurt me to lose THT, I'm always team first. I said the same thing about Kuzma last summer when I knew he was going to get traded because they didn't perform in the playoffs. So I know he was going to get traded because he didn't fit here. I know he was going to ball out elsewhere, just like the other young talent we let go. But it's all about fit and usage rate. All right. A lot of people, like casuals, don't understand this. They're like, they just look at Kuz and they're like, oh, he's only balling because it's not the Lakers. He couldn't play like that under us. Actually, before LeBron James came along, his usage rate was heavy. My man was putting all-star type numbers. People forget that. I was there when he dropped his career high versus Detroit. I was there. But unfortunately, he couldn't adapt to the changes of the roster and limiting his usage and so on and so forth. Same thing seems to be happening with THT. Maybe there's just too many guards on his roster and guys that can do more things than him right now. But remember, he's still 21. So bottom line is you don't give up on a 21-year-old if you know basketball. Bridget says, I hope we will win tonight. I pray it's a good game. Let's go Lakers. That's right, Bridget. We're going to win tonight. No question. We got to. Simmons is better than Westbrook. His basketball IQ is off the charts. Great rebounder, and he plays defense and offense. Philly plays doesn't fit him. He needs to go down the hill. He needs up-tempo offense. You know what, Sean? You might be right there. Again, same thing with the young talent we couldn't fully develop here. Maybe Ben Simmons just needs to reset. One thing for sure is that Laker fans don't boo easily. Because trust me, if we booed easily like Philly fans do, after those 10 turnover games that Russell has had, multiples this season, one or two, he would have been booed. But Laker fans are a lot more loyal, man. They ride by your side. Unless you start disrespecting them or really just a bum, you're not going to get booed here. So Ben Simmons is, I think, what is this, season number 6, 7 already? He will have time to shine here. And I think under LeBron's wing, he could be really special. Remember, Frank Vogel, he likes not size, but he likes defense, right? And one thing we know about Ben Simmons is he plays excellent defense. So right off the bat, he's going to fit there. Now, the jump shot might be a problem, but then again, we're dealing with Westbrook, who basically has no jump shot. All he has to do is be willing to take a couple of games just to keep the defense a little loose off of him. Because if they're, if they're clogging the paint because Ben Simmons won't shoot, then that will be a problem as well. However, being a facilitator, helping LeBron handle the rock, focusing on defense, rebounding, and pushing the pace, and then playing small ball from time to time can really be beneficial to him. Matter of fact, Ben Simmons could get away with small ball center. Yes, he could, because he could block shots, rebound. He's kind of like a very extremely thrift store version of Giannis. Like, trust me, he ain't no Giannis. But what I'm saying is the play styles, the body types, he's like a very poor version of that. And you can get away with some small ball center here and there if that's what they want to do. I still prefer going big, playing with two bigs. That's just me. But I'm just saying he could fit the schemes that are being run here in Los Angeles. Still, there's a far shot at landing Ben Simmons, so I wouldn't hold my breath for him. I think, set your sights on either Jeremy Grant or Miles Turner. I think those are the top two targets the Lakers should target, realistically. I don't think Philly would want Westbrook. Remember, Sam Hinkie already had him in Houston and traded him away, so I really doubt he'll want a second shot at Westbrook. It would. But then again, I've heard they're struggling with Tobias Harris over there and stuff is happening, so you just never know. You just never know. New in the channel. Hey, Bless Brian, welcome to the channel, bro. Welcome. Is it Ben would elevate our team big time, defensively especially, but offensively, we don't need too much offense. That's what people don't understand. They're like, well, he sucks on offense. We got plenty of offense. We got bucket getters, man. We got AD. We got LeBron. We got Malik Monk. Kendrick Nunn, if he comes back, we still have him. We got Carmelo. We got et cetera, right? I can keep going with the list. So he said, God bless you and your family. Enjoy the game. Let's go Lake Show. Yes, sir. I'm about to get off because the game's about to start. Thank y'all for tuning in. Shout out to you guys, man, for all the donations, support, likes, all that good stuff. I'll see you right here for the post-game recap. Go Lakers, man. We need 3rd win in a row coming up tonight. I feel it. Let's get it, man. All right, guys. I'll see you